We are wrapping up this work week under tons of sunshine and even a little bit of warming. All of this as a broad ridge of high pressure continues to impact Central Oregon, but some changes are on the way. Those changes happen through this Easter weekend with a pair of back-to-back waves of moisture. We're talking some sprinkles, stronger winds, and even more cooling. So here through the next couple of minutes, we're going to take a deep dive into your most reliable forecast, look at what's been happening and where some of those changes are going to be impacting us and where they're coming from here through the next couple of days. So kicking things off, we're looking at cameras across the high desert from the Cascades all the way over to Prineville Reservoir and Pine Mountain. It's sunny. We have very little cloud cover in sight, and that's due to that broad ridge of high pressure. I'll show you that and much more here in the next couple of minutes, but here through today, you can probably notice in a couple of these cameras, specifically the Bend camera that's right over at the ODOT building, we do have some haze through the Tri-County area. That haze is because of a prescribed burn from earlier today. It was 3 miles to the south and southeast of Sisters, and you can see it just south of Sisters, right there, that little flame. And there is a little bit of haze and smoke that was produced from that fire, but at the moment, this 20-acre fire is doing what it's supposed to be doing, helping to clear some of that. Winds are pushing a lot of that smoke further into the east slopes of the Cascades, not really impacting us. So air quality conditions through Central Oregon are in the green, and that means good air quality. Meanwhile, when we go ahead and look at some of our cameras at the surface, some of those traffic cameras from ODOT, what we do see is that there is still a lot of sun across the area. Madras has a little bit of haze over, but each one of these cameras where you can actually see a portion of the sky, we see blue. A little bit of white in there, not too much, no clouds across the high desert. And that's because of our high pressure still firmly over the Pacific Northwest. And this has been the dominant feature for our weather pattern. And it's not really letting too much come in outside of that dome of a high pressure. And so when we look further off to the north and northwest, we see this cold front. This cold front is almost battling it out with our ridge of high pressure. And we are expecting some increasing clouds tonight with a few sprinkles tomorrow. So the high pressure isn't really tamping it down completely, but it is weakening it significantly. And what that means for us is the mountains absorb most of the precipitation that comes with this system. Winds are going to get breezy, more clouds are expected, and a cool down is in the planner, but not much in the way of precipitation. Switching gears just a little bit, going from infrared and visible blend to just infrared satellite imagery, and there's an enhancement that really pulls out where we have some of those really high reaching clouds. And I also have on this map, you do see those lines here, those are isobars, equal lines of pressure, and that helps us identify where we have high pressure, where we have low pressure, and our high pressure is way out over the Pacific Ocean, expanded into the Pacific Northwest. That's what's been keeping it clear today. The low pressure associated with our incoming cold front is way over Canada, coming out of Alaska into Canada, and we see most of the activity well to our north. It's just the tail end of this cold front that's going to skirt through the Pacific Northwest, and it's not a strong front as it is right now, at least the tail end of it, and we are looking at the potential of some sprinkles. Then we have some wraparound moisture expecting to impact us through Sunday. After that, our high pressure resumes control of the weather pattern, and what that means is more sunshine, a light breeze, and a gradual warming trend. But let's shift this a little bit, take a different look at everything. And water vapor imagery usually shows us where there's a lot of moisture in the air, and you can definitely see that where there is precipitation with our cold front. But in advance of that, we have very dry conditions over the Tri-County area. We still have those same pressure lines on there that's just to help guide us with what we're looking at. And when our cold front approaches, the dry air is going to absorb a lot of that moisture as well as the Cascade. So by the time it gets here, we're looking at some sprinkles. The biggest change up for today is we have tons of sunshine and temperatures are warmer. So just looking at highs in the last 24 hours, sitting in the 60s with 71 degrees in Warm Springs. Now it is only 59 in Sun River, 58 in Sisters, but most of us did at least get into the 60s. And here through the overnight hours, it's going to get pretty chilly again. But look at this. Temperatures are running between 5 and 9 degrees warmer than it was 24 hours ago. But this is what we can expect going forward. This next forecast model shows us the temperature differential, where it's really warm, where it's really cool. And I've thrown some surface analysis on there so you can see where our cold fronts are, and the words are going to just help describe a little bit more what's going on. So through Saturday, we get a dip in temperatures. Winds are going to be breezy for most of us through the AM and midday hours. So a little bit afternoon, we're looking at some sprinkles across the high desert. Winds are going to be breezy at times, highs in the 60s with a few 50s. By Sunday, 50s and a few 60s, so getting even cooler, close to average for this time of the year, some of us a little below average. So for Easter Sunday, the chance of sprinkles is much lower because this second wave of moisture is going to be much weaker, and we're looking at some of our higher elevations could get a drop or two. By Monday, high pressure starts to build back into the region. Monday is going to be our transition day where we were in unsettled weather pattern and we're going into a much brighter weather pattern under that ridge of high pressure. And so in and out clouds are in the planner. Temperatures start to rebound, but they really don't go very far. Still near average for this time of the year. So just to lay it out for you, go a little further even, what we're seeing is roller coaster temperatures continue. The coolest it's going to be is near average for this time of the year, which the average high in Redmond is 60, the average high in Bend is 57. So in Sun River, or I'm sorry, it says SUN. So on Sunday, we're actually looking at near normal conditions, and then we start to get a warm up next week. The best chance of sprinkles is going to be Saturday, and there's still going to be few and far between. Here's what I'm talking about. Your forecast model shows that cold front just offshore and actually coming inland through Washington. We also have our broad ridge of high pressure out over the Pacific Ocean. Tonight, increasing clouds are expected, and then freeze frame tomorrow at 7 a.m. It's going to be a chilly start, not as cold as it has been getting, and that's because of our additional cloud cover, but remember, tomorrow winds get breezy through the late morning all the way through the midday and early afternoon hours. Some sprinkles are possible. Notice how I'm emphasizing the word some. It's not going to be a lot. Definitely not a washout, but if you feel a few sprinkles, that's what it's from. A cold front. It also brings a dip in temperatures with stronger winds. By Sunday, starting off sunny. By the afternoon, some clouds. Notice fewer and further between when it comes to those very transparent greens. So we're not looking at too much in the way of precipitation at all. And by Monday, we get clearing through the day. And so in and out clouds are expected to start the work week, but this is also our transition day. By Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we're looking at more sunshine, more warming, and it's not until Thursday that our next system starts to impact us. So let's go ahead and look at the extended forecast. This is the GFS model, and this is a global model, not as high resolution, but it goes further out. And what it's showing us is that starting on Monday, we'll be getting clearing by the evening hours, and then through Monday night going into Tuesday, very little cloud cover. Through the rest of Tuesday, more sunshine is expected. So starting off with a few clouds, getting that clearing. By Wednesday, just sunny. It's going to be gorgeous on Wednesday. Temperatures topping out in the mid-60s. And by Thursday, we start to get increasing clouds. By the afternoon, a few showers in our highest elevations. Let me go ahead and zoom in here so we can get a better look at what's happening for Central Oregon. Because Thursday night going into Friday is our best chance of some showers. And then by Friday, in and out clouds, once again with a few sprinkles possible. So between now and Sunday at 11 p.m., we're looking at some sprinkles, not much in the way of snow and higher elevations either. It's not going to be a dud, it's just going to be a weak system rolling through. And here this evening, this afternoon and evening, we do have a light breeze. But going forward, we are looking at wind speeds picking up tomorrow. Even our gusts aren't that impressive across the high desert. Here's our forecast model. Everything to the left of that white line is observed. Everything to the right is forecast. And through the day, it's mostly just been a light breeze. Through tomorrow afternoon, winds are picking up, becoming breezy for many of us. Then back down to a gentle breeze Saturday night. By Sunday, stronger winds return by the afternoon and evening hours. So forward tonight, temperatures are falling back through the 40s, reaching into the 30s. By Saturday, we're looking at 60s with a few spots that could be only topping out in the 50s. So very similar to today, just slightly cooler. Then by Sunday, it gets even cooler. That's when that second wave of moisture pushes through. Not much in the way of precipitation, but winds are going to be breezy at times. However, with the beginning of next week, we get our clearing, and then temperatures start to pick up. And by Thursday, more clouds. By Thursday night and Friday, a chance of some showers, but like we just saw with that GFS model, the American model that goes long range, we're not looking at too much in the way of precipitation at all through the next 7 days. So just a recap for you, your weather headlines for this Friday, April the 18th. Cold nights continue with cooler days through this weekend. Some sprinkles are going to be possible, but they'll be few and far between. Definitely not a washout, with a cooler yet gorgeous Easter Sunday expected. Winds are going to be breezy at times and most of us stay dry. That's the latest in weather. Join us tonight on Central Oregon Daily News. We'll have the latest headlines and your most reliable forecast. That's at 5 and 11 on ABC and at 6, 7 and 11 on CBS. Join us for Central Oregon Daily News.